Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 20 of the Proxima Beyond playthrough. Last week we made some exciting discoveries. We finally got our hands on the projector and found a crashed ship loaded with valuable resources on the planet. And that was including an amazing medbay blueprint. Plus we also discovered some Assert thrusters, including the large one on the back here, which we're definitely going to have to install on the nacelle. I'm not sure how many we're going to find of these in the future, so I think we're just going to focus on building one of them on the back as one of the main thrusters. Today our focus is going to make sure that our base is fully functional and self-sustaining. I want to ensure that we have a steady supply of ice and other essentials, so we don't have to worry about the basics anymore before we leave the planet behind, at least for a while. The plan is to focus on setting up an automated drill system, and I will show you the steps without diving too much into the details. I'll also set up an action that activates the drill whenever we're running low on oxygen in the tanks, or rather ice in the cargo containers, and that way the drills will work for us and we don't have to manage it constantly. We also will configure an event controller to manage the batteries, so when they are running empty, the hydrogen engines kick in, charge the batteries, and then turn them off again when necessary. That way we have a good backup. Even if the solar panels are destroyed, we will have a solid backup without having to worry too much about that. So let's just dive in, get this base running as smoothly as possible so we are prepared to leave it behind. To be honest, we can also remove this display now, and probably I'm going to have to do some changes in the back as well. I'm going to be doing a lot of this off-stream as off-screen as well, because a lot of what I did you already seen me doing. The problem is, what I would like to do is move this medical bay in that corner instead. Now the problem is that the medical bay does have a connector on the back here, not on the bottom. I like this one actually more than the medical bay, the old one. I just like the look of it more than the other one. By the way, I think this one is actually completely airtight. I wonder if we could actually just replace the medical bay in that corner, because that corner is already a conveyor. This is a bookshelf. This is the survival kit. Could we put the medical bay in here, or will this poke out too far? We might have to try that. So I'm going to turn you off. We're going to grind this all away and just see if I can get it in here. If not, we might just hide it in. Let's just try it out. All right. So I'm going to take away this one here. Medical bay 9. Does this work? I'm wondering if I should put my survival kit in that corner instead. Then we can change this later as well. If I can put the survival kit in here, and then we have a conveyor behind this. Let me see. There is a gray block, so we should be able to put a conveyor below here. Okay, I'm gonna just do a little test here. This is I think it's build info conveyor network. All right, so there is a conveyor network going down. There is a conveyor network here going up to this conveyor and there. Okay, so there's a conveyor down there. So we should be able to link up this conveyor down here to make sure we have a network here. All right, so if I grind this away, this will interrupt. Here we go. So now we have this separate conveyor system and this separate conveyor system from this. That means if I would build that survival kit here, the med bay, that should work. And it actually might make it much easier to make this half wall continue with the... Ooh, this is actually going to look pretty okay. This is going to enlarge the room so much more than it was before. Alright, let's refilled everything, hydrogen, oxygen and all. We can change this to a regular bed instead. And we can put one of those narrow beds in here. One of these. Look at that. And then we can change these to the same as that. And then I'm going to have to take this one out. I'm going to have to jump into my second account and later and just replace put it back. He might die, but that's okay for the moment. Yeah, I think that works. Then we'll just put you on the sofa later. Pretty cool. We have a much larger room now. This almost should be gray, but on the other hand, I don't want to mess around with the colors outside. And it does line up with this, so we're good. We finished the floor. Floor is done. All right. We need to close you off. Should I put my displays in there? If I just put a gray plate over that, that should work just fine. 6. Gonna go for the weltless armor. All right. That was a little intermission. This is always what happens in space engineers. Like, I'm gonna do this, that's the plan, and then, oh, what if we do this? And then completely get distracted of what you were doing. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with what we did now. We got the medical station in here, which is gonna allow me to recharge much quicker. I can change if I need to, but we are now already fancy and clothed, so we should be okay. Let's focus on the drill first. So what I want to do is, I want to get this base to be self-sufficient, do the job. Then we're going to start scrapping our assert bit by bit, bring over the thruster. Somebody did say double check the containers because you might have more than just 2. I'll have to double check. I do have a feeling I did already. I just moved them around. And I should have just 2 thrusters. Let me see. Thruster. I do have 2 thrusters here. So if I have 2 thrusters in the ship, that means I have 4 ion thrusters, which is actually a pretty nice loot. All right, so we want to set up this drill so that we can start drilling the ice out whenever we need. Now, to make this work, I was thinking about using the similar technique as we used before with the pistons and the elbow. The only thing I think I need to do is make sure if I do 1, 2. Then we do an elbow. That goes up and goes down with more pistons. And then have a drill underneath this whole thing. How much space do we have for this drill? I just want to see, do I put another piston underneath here? I don't think so. No. All right. So we got 2 pistons. Then we work with an elbow. Now I'm wondering, should I work with this elbow or should I work with the round elbows? I think the round elbows are going to look nicer. So I don't want to make it too complicated because I don't want to be looking into scripts. I don't want to be looking into like different methods to make this work. I just need a drill that does some drilling to keep the ice filled and the hydrogen filled up and the engines working. That's all I need. So I need to keep it simple. So I do not want to put any pistons that are going to work in the opposite way of the other pistons, because then I need to prepare for that more, or I need to be way more hands-on. What I'm wondering is, if I would do a pipe like that, I don't think they will interrupt each other because the collision of these pipes should be way less. This should normally work, because I'm pretty sure that the collision of these pipes is small enough to not interfere with the pistons. Like I said, I will have to take away that light. I don't want to risk the light. I do believe that the collision of the light is smaller, but it's not to risk it. This has to pass several times by that for a while. And that should be a pretty decent setup. This is going to be able to drill 1, 2, 3, 4. And the extension is, I think, about 6 or 5.5 meters. So that's 20 meters of ice that we can drill out with this setup, which is going to be enough for a while. All right, let's start welding this up. This means we already got shear inertia tension off. These all need shear inertia tension on. So shear inertia tension on, shear inertia tension on, shear inertia tension on. There we go. Now let's focus on the pipes. All right, While I'm generating the rest of the materials for this, let's look into building the event controller. I think I'm just going to build the event controller in this corner here. Go. This is going to be the event controller mining rig. All right. This is indeed cargo filled. I'm going to have to use an AND gate, and I'm going to look for the HS, I think, large cargo container, AND blocks, AND gate. So all three of them have to be filled up or have to start going lower than. So I'm going to say cargo filled equal or less than. And I'm going to say 80%. That means that the drill is only going to kick off when all three have reached that condition. So as you can see, it already starts draining 3 first. It might start draining 2 or 1 first, and then drain that one. That means that at a certain point, when this one hits 80, it's going to have to fill up all 3 again. So these are the 4 pistons of this mining rig. Let's just name them already. And you know what? I'm just going to give them a prefix. Mining rig. Maybe we should call it ice mining rig prefix. Oh, reset. Has to be ice mining rig space prefix. Yeah. And then we can do the same with this this one. I'm gonna call this ice mining rig like that. And then we find the pistons again. We're gonna make this a group and call this ice mining rig pistons. That means I can just set this up to go at the velocity of minus 0.005. Let's do it like that. That means that the 4 pistons is going to be 0.2. No, that's going to become 1. Going to be 2. Yeah, 0.02. That should be enough to drill. Then we do have the rotor as well. I think that is the advanced rotor, which is going to be the advanced rotor. There we go. Ice mining rig advanced rotor. This one should already be set at a certain speed, velocity 1 RPM. I might do some adjustments to that. And then we're going to make a group. I might also have to add the, I need to find drills. Drill all these. I need to make a prefix as well. Ice mining rig prefix. So all these are going to be part of this as well. I can make them a group. So I'm going to do that as well. Ice mining rig drills. Save. And then we're going to do the ice mining rig. And now we're going to put all of these in one group. And we call this the ice mining rig drill rig. There. Because what I'm going to do here, I want to control with the event controller action, if I find it, so that I can set that group, which is the drill rig. I want to set this as on or off. Now I'm going to have to figure out which is which again, which is turning off and which is turning on. So we'll have to play around with that. Slot, here it is. It is actually build info. It's really handy. Slot 1, when all inventories are less or equal than 8% filled. Slot 2, when each inventory is more than 80% filled. So when all inventories are less, we need to turn on this one. So this has to be toggle block on. And when it's more than 80% filled, we need to turn this off. There we go. This is pretty handy. The build info really gives a lot of information about that. So now we need to set up this whole thing as if it's off, because we are waiting for the containers to be empty. I'm going to start moving from one container to the other so it activates the rig. So first things first, we need to turn you off, 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 and off. And we need to put you all on reverse as well. Reverse, 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 and reverse. So now all these should start pushing the drill down while it rotates and while the drills are going to be activated. But that is only going to happen once we... Now, you know what I'm going to do first? Let's work on some light. This might be a little bit too bright. We'll see. I might put lights on the outside of my drill instead. This should be much easier to check then. So if I now go into my inventory, we'll look at the HS. Large card containers. Let's do the same here. This one is very low. So I'm going to start shifting. Like, let's see. 4,000. That's going to be better. And then do the same here. We're going to put another 300,000 in here. There we go. So now all these are lower and the whole thing activated. Drill started. Pistons are moving. And that should now start filling up, hopefully, our containers. I'm not seeing any fills. Where is my eyes going? It could be that my... Wait, what? Do you mean that one of my tanks is full with 80%? Oh my god, it's gonna be funny. Event controller. Yeah, as soon one of them hits the 80%, it will stop mining. Alright, so I'm gonna let this go for a while. Let's focus on this area now. And what I want to do, I want to have these engines kick off once the batteries are empty. Or not empty, once they get to a point that they have low energy. So we're probably going to do the event block here. On the other hand, I might not want to do that because I probably want to close off this wall. So instead, we're going to put you here instead. Should I put you here or should I put you here at the beginning of the entrance? That might be a better idea. Okay. Okay, let's do that here. 9. Event block goes here. And then you and you. There we go. So this event block is going to control the engines right here. I'm going to put a roof in here. I'm going to put the wall in here and put some light as well. So we see what we're doing. All right. So we're going to put all these hydrogen in a group. They might already be. Let me just check. Okay. We got all the hydrogen engines here ready. Do I got all the batteries in a group? I don't think so. So we're just going to do that. And we're going to give this a new prefix. Frigid Outpost prefix name. So all these batteries are now part of one. Then I can make this a group and say Frigid Outpost batteries. There we go. Because what we want to do is we want to check. And let's see. Power outputs. No, stored power. Equal or greater than 80% again. So I need to take every battery. Say add blocks. All my batteries are at 100% currently. if they are equal or less than 80%, if I just say all selected block and I don't say and, it will probably just activate as soon as one of those batteries goes to 80%. So I might do the same with my containers. I'm just realizing this now. Let's say no and. There we go. Now I just go to select actions. When each block is 80% stored, when all blocks are 80% stored. So when each block is less than 80% stored, we will turn on the hydrogen engines. When all blocks are more than 80% stored, we turn off the engine. There we go. So as soon one of those batteries lowers to 80%, the engines will kick in. That means that is where I went wrong with my containers. I need to change the AND function. All right, so guys, what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to do this off screen. I'm going to close off these walls. I'm going to put the ceiling in it. I'm going to put some lights everywhere. I'm going to do the same with some lights on that place. I'm going to put some lights in the corridor. But all that I'm going to do off stream because that is just decoration and I don't want to be recording and editing that out. Let me just recharge myself a little bit in health. And then after that, we're going to focus on getting parts of the Assert there, the Assert ship, back here and the rest up to the space, to the nacelle. What can we do here, by the way? I did actually find a projector. We did find a medbay. We're still looking for the welder, but that's okay. Okay, I will move the mining drill as well now. Find blueprints. All right. Done. We're almost there. Almost nothing here anymore on this screen. All right, let me focus on some things. And I'll be back. All right, so we finally finished everything. We should be completely charged. We left this off here. That's already done. Let's go and check what we did downstairs. So I did some changes here with light, so we have a little bit more brighter light. This is also a little bit brighter. There's a lot of empty space, which is pretty pointless for now, but it is what it is. Ready for expansion. I added some lights here as well. I didn't do too much of like, this is going to look better than this. I just put lights so we can see where we're going. Nothing changed here. What did we change here? We added the ceiling. So everything is closed off here. We got some lights as well inside. I added these pillars, the new truss pillars, as supports. So we could put some lights on the supports. I added some light in between. It's not too great, but that was like the only light that fit in here without falling off. But that does give a bit of a, a little bit of a lift in area more. Then we have, of course, this room. This is constantly, this is also just lit up. I decided not to continue the ceiling because in the end we have this whole drill, this open not the ice, so we cannot make this an airtight area anyway. We might be able to do that here if I would, but then I will have to change all this also to a tube or conveyor system that is no longer a pipe, and then I could put a door up here and make this airtight. There is no real point in doing that, so I decided not to do it. But this is where we left off now. We have pretty much done this base. I'm pretty happy with that setup. We have a good redundancy for power. We got a good redundancy for recharging our hydrogen, which we can then maybe later in the future try our nacelle to land here and refill the hydrogen if needed. Now, I will have to make sure that my hydrogen or my nacelle is made to be able to land on this planet so we don't crash the whole thing. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna sleep and we're gonna get past this day. Now we can focus on taking down the Assert ship that we have there, take it off and part. All right, back again. So the plan today, well, today, yeah, I woke up. Today, the plan is to go and get at least start grinding the Assert in pieces and bring over what we can bring over and use. I'm going to use my fighter, which definitely has the most power to lift, I would say. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's the same amount. I mean, you might actually be, you see, if I disconnect you, 5. You only weigh 24 kilograms or 24 tons, while you 44. So in theory, this one should be able to lift more because it doesn't have that weight. I do need a something to lift it up with. Yeah. What I could do is add another thrust just to have a little bit more lifting thrust. All right, let me just add a little bit of a crane, like a piece with a Mac plate on it. These are just temporary. We'll take them off later. Then let's disconnect. Then we take the Mac plate and just put it on here. Switch lock. There we go. This is only 25k. Let's see. I want to see if I can pick the ship up with a little bit of more thrusters and less weight on that ground hornet. Another thing I'm going to have to do is convert that ship to me as an owner, so that if I bring things over to my base, they don't get shut up by the turrets. Okay. Let's see if I can lift it. Where are we going to grab it to see without damaging anything? I cannot lift this. I'm trying to wiggle a bit and see if it goes off the ground, but it is moving, but that's not what we want to do. Okay, let's just disconnect. We will have to split this up. Oh, interesting. There's magnesium underneath here. If I need to more, we can actually come and here mine that magnesium. I need to check something. Somebody said they saw more thrusters in the containers. And that might be the truth, but I think they might just have missed out on me moving it. Yeah, I took everything. I did take everything. There should be no more thrusters in here. And what I'm going to have to do here is we're going to have to grind this in 2 parts. I just don't know. Let me just check something. If I do info, show center of mass. Okay, center of mass is right there. That means that a lot of weight is in the front. Most likely because... Is there still a thruster here? No. I would say the batteries are the weight, but all of these are dead. So we could grind these batteries down. Okay, let me start with that. Alright. So this ship is still weighing 627 kilograms, but that's because I've been putting a lot of that inside the containers. So like the metal grids and stuff, they do take a lot of weight. Alright, this should be able to be taken away now. This ship is now weighing how much? 500. Alright, so this thruster we can bring to our base. Just gonna check if there's any other things that we should grind down. I think the batteries should be grind down as well. I don't want to keep them anyway, although they might be important if I want to recharge quickly. So if I would build a little cockpit on here... Shh, I just was talking about it. I should be able to recharge everything while I'm here. In the meantime, what I can do is check the O2 And can I drop a bottle in here just to refill it? There we go. So what we could do, we could cut away the front part, because this is all steel plate. This only weighs 482 anymore. So the containers are pretty full in weight. I think that is the weight. This is weighing 399 kilograms. I'm assuming that's because of the ice. In theory, we don't really need the ice, so we could eject it. I've been trying to save it up, but it doesn't really matter. See, the mass is 243 ice. So I could build an ejector here and just throw it out using the battery. I'm going to start with bringing over that thruster to the house and then come back. Remember this here, the red and the black ship, the blocks? I thought this was Incom. But then a few days ago I was thinking, is that not the ship I threw to the planet last episode? Give it like 10 meters per second and then just disconnect it. Alright, that one is on his way to the planet. With some luck, it takes one of those Assert bases out. If that is the ship we threw to the planet, that would be such a lucky shot if that was the case. I'm gonna drop it here. We're gonna recharge. I'm just wondering, just imagine me throwing that transport ship down to the planet, hitting a bypassing Assert ship with the medbay in it. We'll check. That would just be ridiculous. I'm wondering if it still is going to show the grid as of what it was part of. I don't know. Or does it need a computer to show if it was part of that? Info. Large grid. Doesn't say. I think we need something with a computer on, and I don't think there's anything left to measure that with. They are just regular box. This would have been such a cool... I cannot confirm it, but that would have been a very cool discovery. This would have been such a fun little thing when the ship I threw down actually gave me this Assert ship. Okay, we need a conveyor sorter. And a conveyor. Connector. Now, before I throw out ice, can I charge you? Because I'm already at 40. If I would do this, are you going to fill up? Let me just check something. Control panel. Thruster. And I just need to put these two in the group as well. And of course, turn them off. So I'm filling up now, but I'm filling up with the... But you are generating very slowly. If I get the ice out, I think we can pick up this whole thing and bring it home. Except for this. Because I don't want to be transferring these things over bit by bit. What I might actually do is put a connector on the bottom here and then connect it on the base so I can just transfer it over without having to do it manually. Alright, we're fully charged up. Disconnect again, fly forward. Land. Set this one to sorter. Ice. Then we say drain all. And then we need to set you to the same. Control panel. Throw out on. No. I said ice. Did I do blacklist? Whitelist? Ice. Let's just take everything that you just threw out. Alright. So this ship now weighs 242 kilograms. Will I be able to lift 242? The only thing we can do elsewhere is just cut off the sides. And then just throw them off of my containers. Alright. I got 81 power left. Can I grab this and lift it? If not, we're gonna have to split these up. I can lift it, but it's gonna be sucking my energy out of me. Alright, it works, so that's good. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna replace it and then pick it up from another position. Okay, are you gonna hold this up for a while? Hopefully. We need a connector. This thing doesn't have a lot of life. Okay, now if I would let you go... maybe not. Let's disconnect. Bring you home. So you can charge. And then we can empty the containers. So now I should be able to find my components. And then we'll find my large containers. And then transfer everything over into here. Alright, but now everything out of the containers, we can just grind everything down, store it into our other container, and I think that's gonna be it. Good. So I think we are ready to take off. I think we can take a break of this base and go to nacelle and start building on the nacelle. And then we can come back. Hopefully this landing area is big enough for the ship when we come back to fill up our hydrogen. What I want to do as well, we need to look into putting a projector in here. You know what, let's close it off and then we can make a blueprint of the ship with the projector in already. There we go. Let's disconnect. Blueprint. This is going to be the laser beak. Right, go projector. Blueprint. Then we look for laser beak and add it to our projector. There we go. Now we just need to adjust the position. I should be able to actually aim through. There we go. And just adjust the location of the blueprint ghost so it fits the ship. Anyway, I'm just going to line this up and then I'll be back. Alright, so that means we can now repair our ship when it is shot up. We can do this with the other ships as well. With the drill ship and with whatever we do. I could even put one on the base if I need to repair the base. But that's going to be it for today. I think we're all set for our departure. Next week we will be jumping away from the base. We're going to transport the Assert thruster and dropping it off at the nacelle. I will come back to pick up the Ground Hornet as well, so it can serve as a quick mining vessel if we need to gather any ice, nickel or any resources. It's going to go much quicker and it's going to save us a lot of time and resources. I'm pretty happy what we accomplished today. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Have a great day and goodbye for now.